Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement, presented by 3G and Barstool Sports. I am your host, Robbie Fox. With me is my co-host, Clem, and we are here to talk about She-Hulk. Finally, we tried to record this on Thursday. We thought we were going to record on Thursday. Then I was sick, and I said we got to push to Friday. Then I said, hey, I'm sick. We got to push to Saturday. And here we are on Sunday because it has been a week from hell. But Clem, we're here. I'm happy. I'm healthy. How we doing?
Our boy Bob Fox went through some stuff, folks. I just want you guys to know we're in the basement right now. You know you're in the basement, and sometimes it's night, you have the snacks out, everyone's having fun, or you're just chilling. Right now, Bob has like a blanket over him. He's that guy who's hanging with the boys and the girls, the ladies in the basement. We love you guys too. But he's hurting right now. I don't know if Bob got a wisdom tooth pulled. Is that what it is? 2 wisdom teeth pulled. I got 4 teeth pulled. Granted, this was like before the era of HDTV. It was a very long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I got 4 pulled. I got knocked out. I woke up. Teeth were gone. I think my dentist it's like more than a dentist, this guy, right? He's like an oral surgeon.
Yep.
I think he did Christian Leitner's teeth. And I was like, all right, I'm in good hands here. So I felt good knowing, and that's back when Christian Leitner was like still a big name and all that kind of stuff. So I felt very good. I think Bob Fox fell victim to the Barstool Sports dental plan here because I don't know what you did, buddy. But I feel like either they didn't med you enough, they gave you meds that you didn't know you were allergic to, or they didn't tell you don't swallow blood. I feel like that was a very big thing they told me.
They specifically told me that.
They did?
Yeah.
And did you swallow it? Or
Yeah, of course.
Wait, they told you to swallow the blood?
Yes.
I thought it was don't swallow the blood. I remember spitting
No, they
out
said don't. They said don't spit. And it just got to the point. So listen, I know we're going to talk She-Hulk in a second. I know some people are like, Jesus Christ, get into the comic book stuff. We tuned in for the comic book stuff. I got the wisdom teeth removed and it wouldn't stop bleeding for like 12 hours to the point where I was like starting to like sort of choke on the blood clots. Like it was a big blood clot. I think they call it a liver clot. I had to go to the ER. It was crazy. And like Clem alluded to, I didn't get knocked out during the surgery. I thought I was going to. And I was like, part of me was almost looking forward to it a little bit because I don't like going to the dentist at all. So I was like, all right, this is going to be great. I'm going to go to the dentist. They're going to knock me out. I'm going to wake up. It's going to be done. Like no anxiety, no nothing. I go there and I was like, so I get knocked out for this, right? And they go, no, we don't do that in this office. And I was like, oh, so I'm going to be awake for it? And they're like, yeah, we'll shoot you up with some Novocaine or whatever, the numbing stuff and the gums, which I hate too when they stick that into the roof of your mouth. Oh my God. They just took the teeth out, and for the next couple of days, couldn't keep anything down because the amoxicillin made me throw up. It made me nauseous. It's been hell. I probably threw up a dozen times this week. Shout out Jeff D'Lo, the dozen.
So that's why I'm just setting the scene for everyone. Our boy Bob, this is his flu game right now.
I didn't do Rough and Rowdy. Like that's my favorite thing in the world.
Once you cancel Rough and Rowdy, Bob is in a very bad place right now.
Yeah.
And I worried about you. Shout out to the Able brother who shouted you out, which was great to see. And if you ever want to buy rnr.com, look, we're pitching RNR 19, even though I don't think it's technically been announced. I think they announced it 10 different times during the pay-per-view. But we're going to be the first podcast, so keep the basement lights on. But happy you're feeling well, Bob. Bob's way of soothing himself during this awful thing is you said you just played Rage Against the Machine as loud as you possibly could
during the oral surgery. Yeah, because I brought my headphones and he saw the headphones and he was like, hey, you have headphones, do you want to put them on during the thing? And I was like, yes, absolutely I do.
I feel like Bob went to a very hippie-ish kind of dentist that doesn't believe in modern medicine or something like that. So it sounds like an absolute hell thing. But we are here. Not only are we here to talk She-Hulk, in 24 hours, Bob and I will be back in the basement to talk House of the Dragon. That's right. We are the new official Barstool podcast of Game of Thrones. Until someone says we aren't. Game of Stools not coming back as of now. I guess it like they didn't put any. I don't know if anyone's even had a meeting about like the biggest show in the world coming back or biggest franchise in the world coming back. So Bob and I were like, want to just do it? And we're like, sure. We're the nerd podcast. I think that falls into our corner. We talked to our boy KFC, who was, my compatriot on Game of Stools. And we said, hey, man, do you want to bring Game of Stools back? Or he's like, no, let's just hop in the base and we'll do it there. So as of now, this is your house for the House of Dragons. So we're going to be doing a podcast in the morning, talking She-Hulk, podcast at night, talking House of the Dragons. Subscribe. Tell all your Game of Thrones friends, this is the place to get it. The reason I'm saying that, the fucking biggest tragedy of this entire podcast, other than Bob almost dying for getting 2 wisdom teeth taken out, She-Hulk is fucking good. Or at least episode 1 was fucking good. And it deserves a full blown recap because I absolutely loved it. It surpassed my expectations, which granted were a little reserved, but whew, I had fun. I had a fucking blast for that half hour.
It was awesome, and we kind of said this about Miss Marvel as well. We kind of had the same sort of recap where we said, "Oh my God, how could we not trust the Feige?" The trailers looked like maybe it wasn't for us, and then all of a sudden, the first episode's amazing. I thought the first episode of She-Hulk was even better than the first episode of Miss Marvel, and it was shorter. They fit more into it though. It's a half an hour show week to week, which I could have gone for an hour. But that being said, maybe the half an hour is what makes it so great and what left me wanting more.
I think that's the secret. That's the secret sauce for Marvel, at least in my mind, just based off of one episode. Only one episode. It's unless you're some of the other shows that maybe have bigger characters involved in that. If you're just introducing a character, maybe that half hour, throw another established Marvel character such as the Hulk, kind of to help ease us into everything. And when she broke the fourth wall, but then she's not really breaking the fourth wall because she's talking to someone, even though I know She-Hulk breaks the fourth wall. Our boy Jose, he told us all about it. He's like, She-Hulk is good. It's a good story they could be doing. And so far, big 1 for 1. I don't know about the CGI. Do people like the CGI? Hate the CGI? I didn't see anyone complaining about it on my timeline, but I'm probably not on following the kind of people that talk about CGI all that often. So have you heard anything?
No, I didn't see people complaining either, and I saw a lot of people complaining about the trailer and stuff.
Yeah.
And we talked about the trailer, like it didn't look amazing. Like there were certain shots where you could say, okay, yeah, the CGI looks unfinished there. But in the show, it didn't bother me at all. And I was watching through like a hazy. I was texting you as I was watching. It's a half an hour show, and I had to pause it twice to puke.
Yeah, that's no bueno. That's no bueno. And, I mean, so and to let everyone know, kind of we talk about House of the Dragon. We're gonna I mean, if She-Hulk keeps this up or is anywhere close to it, we will be recapping it every week. I imagine the House of the Dragon will probably be the one that goes in the podcast feed every week because I feel like that's probably the bigger draw. But this will be covered on the YouTubes every single week. Subscribe to the My Mom's Basement YouTube, barstool.link/MMB in caps, MMB. But let's get into it, man. I had a fucking ball. By the way, to start things off, the name of the episode, A Normal Amount of Rage.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote it down in my notes as a normal amount of rags. And I'm like, what the fuck? I must have, it was early when I was watching. I watched it with Sienna because I figured this is another good show to maybe get her into the MCU. Miss Marvel didn't really click with her the first 5 minutes and she was out. I was like, a normal amount of rags. This is just what's a normal amount of rags to have in a house? I guess that's the question I was going to ask. I feel like 6 is the answer. Someone that's a homeowner, it's always going to have rags.
For me, yeah.
6. A half dozen rags.
Just came to mind immediately.
Listen to this, folks. You guys are getting nerd breakdowns, you're getting dentist recaps, and you're getting good rules of thumb for a good housekeeping. 6 rags. Always have rags in your house. It's the one thing I never in a million years would have thought I had when I got a house. And then you just started taking old towels that then became rags. You need rags. But a normal amount of rage. We're into She-Hulk. Let's fucking roll.
And we heard right before this came out, we were kind of sending each other some reviews, some tweets saying, "Oh, look, this is a good review and stuff." Kind of heard it had Ally McBeal comparisons, like, "Oh, this is very much like a lawyer show. Maybe every episode is going to have like a lawyer case at the end, or a court case, a lawyer case."
Lawyer case. That's why I work for Barstool, baby.
Yeah. And you could see, like, I've never seen Ally McBeal, but you could see almost like a 90s inspiration in the show. I felt like even in the way she broke the fourth wall, it felt very like 90s to me. And the main character, Jennifer Walters, I think her name is, very likable, very good actress. Like her scenes with Bruce Banner especially were very funny. Post-credit scene, which we'll get into later, hysterical. But yeah, this was a hell of a first episode.
Yeah, I was alive for when Ally McBeal was on TV. I might have watched like 3 seconds of it. There was a dancing baby. It was like a CGI baby. Ironically, it was a CGI thing that became like the biggest hit because they put it in the show and it was a little dancing baby. You probably have seen it before. I'm
gonna Google it.
It's probably like an archaic. It's probably the first time you ever saw CGI in your life, which I guess was probably the first time I saw it too. It was such a big deal. So when I think Ally McBeal, I think of that. I think of our boy Harrison Ford, who I think is still married to Miss Ally McBeal herself, Callista Flockhart.
He is.
And like I'm not a big lawyer guy, but I know I'm not a big lawyer guy. Again, listen to me. I'm not a big law guy. I don't get into all those kind of shows. But if that's the backdrop for all this, the way the first episode played out and the way they kind of do it, and again, we said this in the past with Marvel, and you see it in The Boys. If it's just basically taking the MCU and grounding it a little by bringing in court cases due to some superhero or superheroes malfeasance that caused some chaos. I'm fucking down. Let's rock.
So as soon as we start the show, it's in her law office, and she kind of has a conversation. She does like a monologue, and then kind of has a conversation with her friend, where her friend is like, "Why don't you just Hulk out and like shock everyone in the courtroom, scare them into giving you the case or something?" And you realize right away we're starting the show with her as the Hulk. But then she kind of says, "All right, let's go back." We do a flashback a few months ago. She's on a road trip with Bruce Banner. A ship comes down that many people are saying is from Sakaar.
Yeah.
Interesting. And it makes them crash, go off the road. His blood goes into her blood, almost like zombie infection, like in a weird way, and she becomes She-Hulk and runs through the woods. She goes to that nightclub that kind of had like 80s Roadhouse vibes or whatever.
Yes.
The girls in the bathroom help her out a little bit, and then on the way out, she gets catcalled, and she hulks out on these dudes. And it's it's a scene where it's like we got so many people saying, "Oh my God, this is going to be the anti-man show. This is going to be the pro-women feminist show or whatever." And people thought that was going to be so ham-fisted. This is such a perfect way to do moments like that.
Yeah. By the way, for the people watching on the YouTube, Bob just coughed and you could hear it on the podcast. I thought we were getting a puke. So you guys have to watch on the YouTube just to see if Bob throws up during this episode, because I thought we were losing him there for a second. Yeah, the way they kind of just, you go one way, she breaks the fourth wall, and then we're getting the recap, which again, you're not just giving me like 3 episodes worth of story and origin story and all this nonsense. They gave us like 6 episodes of Boba Fett origin story for the new Boba Fett. We just want to see Boba Fett do awesome shit. That's all we wanted. They didn't give us that. That was like such a bummer. However, this was how you do it. I loved it. Like you said, we're like, we're getting Bruce Banner episode 1, basically like scene 2. Awesome. He has a device, so he's in human form. We're like, oh man, things have changed since everything went down. Obviously, the device gets broken, but it's nice to know that there is something out there or he has done the work to, kind of be able to suppress it, all that kind of stuff. And then they're just talking exactly the way you and I would be talking if we were next to Bruce Banner. We're just like, so what the fuck? Like that Thanos guy, what the fuck was that about? That shit was craziness. They're talking about Cap. It's kind of like when we're, I'm sure if you're like with friends or whatever, or someone that follows Barstool or just knows some of the people, like, so what's Dave like? Or how much does Big Cat make? That's like the running joke on the internet and shit like that. It's always been, it's something like that, but on a much, much, much grander level. I love that. And I love the little thing that they had, the Cheetos with the chopsticks, where I was like, I'm a snack guy. And I was like, wow, now that is something I would actually potentially learn how to use chopsticks for the first time in my life at the age of goddamn 40.
Do you not know how to use chopsticks?
I've picked them up like 3 or 4 times, and my wife uses them. I hate it. So I'm like making sure she's not like around as a his. I hate that she's just like, she's not pretentious with them, but I feel like everyone that uses chopsticks, they're insisting upon themselves. She went to China twice back in the day for work. So she, got to go. I think my daughter is starting to learn when we go to hibachi, they get chopsticks. So I'm like, God damn it, I'm going to be the only idiot in the family that can't use chopsticks.
Do you not do sushi?
No, not a sushi guy, not a fish guy. So that's probably a big.
No seafood at all.
I get sick if I even smell seafood. I had a basically a Bob Fox experience with seafood when I was a kid. A lot of throwing up, and I can't even that and egg rolls. I think it must have been a Chinese food.
Wow!
Thing. So it was no bueno. I run. Large makes fun of me. I run past the seafood section at the grocery store, and I just fucking walk quickly through it. So the chopsticks was very cool, and a little flashback to our boy. What's the guy, the little guy's name in Peacemaker? The guy who was always eating the chips.
Oh, Diebeard?
Diebeard?
Wait. Oh, he's eating. Oh, no. Judo Master. Judo Master. So we had the flaming Cheetos, obviously. And I got to ask my guy Bob Fox this. Crunchy Cheetos, puff Cheetos. What is the Bob Fox? And I'm talking Cheetos, not cheese doodles in general. There's a much different thing here. Yeah. Cheetos, our boy Chester's on the cover. What are you going, crunchy or puffed? Crunchy, because if I want puffed, I want the cheese doodles.
Okay, that's a fair point. And there is a very big difference. My wife thinks the same thing. She goes puffed because she likes them on Cheetos. If she wants crunchy, she'll go with the cheese doodles with the little Z at the end and all that stuff. But if if it's just like in general, I'm a crunchy guy as well. Puffed Cheetos, I mean, Bob, you'd have puffed Cheetos in your mouth. They'd have to probably take out more teeth, and then we're going to lose you for another week again. So you have to be very careful. I do love that Flamin' has just become this fucking like dynasty of a flavor. I like it. I'm not a diehard hot food Cheetos anything guy. I know our boy Trent. He's like a diehard for this shit, right?
Yeah.
So,
which people would expect. Iowa Trent, like, come on. I love Trent, but come on.
Wow. It's like that, huh? Bob Fox is a little snippy right now. He hasn't probably slept well the last few days. He's had nothing but bile going through his throat. He's throwing shots at our sweet tea.
Which, speaking of, I got to shout out Game Time. Game Time sent me to Red Hot Chili Peppers this week. I tried to go to Red Hot Chili Peppers. I did go, but that was another thing that I had to leave like 40 minutes into because I was throwing up. Yeah.
Good. Did you spend like a ton of money? Be like, I'm never going to get that money back?
No, because it was Game Time, Clem. Game Time
perfect.
is the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. They're a ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee you the lowest price. They'll get you in for a low price, so if you have to leave early because you're puking and you're getting recognized in the bathroom by stoolies as you're puking, then, you know, it's no big deal because you were like, you know what, I saw like 8 songs that were great. Game Time really is the best, though. They're a great ticketing app. They sent me to Rage Against the Machine. They sent me to Red Hot Chili Peppers. They sent, I think, Steve Che, Nate Dogg. There was a ton of people from Barstool there. It was a great time. MetLife Stadium sold out, but Game Time can get you in for the lowest price. Best part, you can get $20 off your first purchase if you download the Game Time app on your phone, whatever. Go to the account tab, create a login, and then redeem the code MMB for $20 off. The account process is like the easiest thing in the world to make an account. It'll take you literally 2 seconds. So go to Game Time now. Shout out Game Time. They support the podcast. They support Barstool. We love them.
Yeah, but it's the best. And I think, you know, even though you had to leave early, I think if you have a good enough experience and then like the like vibes that you get there divided by the amount of money you spend, you came up with a W there, even if it was only a limited concert, and that's thanks to our friends at Game Time. So shout out Game Time.
It was one of the few highlights of the week. True. Yeah. What happens next in the show? Okay, so she hulks out on the dudes outside the bar, right, that were catcalling her, and then she wakes up in Mexico, right? She's in Mexico?
Yeah, she's in Mexico, and I forgot the Roadhouse thing. What the fuck is with girls going to the bathroom in packs? That's been a thing. Like my daughter at the age of like 7, they'll go sometimes together. And it's one of those things that's just inherently baked into us. I don't understand it. So it's
like in our DNA or in women's DNA. It's like they like going to the bathroom in packs.
Yeah, exactly. I guess, you know, watching out for each other, I could understand that, but it is one of those weird ass kind of things.
I feel like guys are almost the opposite. Like, I would get anxiety if I went into the bathroom in school, like in middle school, and you had to poop. And then you were like, oh, fuck, someone's going to see me pooping in here and they're going to make fun of me.
Little fun fact about your pal Clem. Never went to the bathroom excuse me, that's a lie. I went to the bathroom once in middle school and the last day of high school, just to say I did it, because I just never had to, my body is trained. I leave the house, I'm good. As soon as I get in, I'd have to piss, whatever. Usually the pooping, that's a night or a morning thing. It's not usually an afternoon thing for me. I'm blessed like that. So I never saw
envious of that.
Yeah, I never knew what the inside of the high school bathroom looked like. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go see what it looks like before I tap out here. Is it nuts? Yeah, it's one of those things. But I remember I get off the bus, walk down the hill. I had to go like 2 houses down once I was done. And then basically I like step on my stoop and it was Pavlov's dog, where it's like, except going in me, we need it coming out. It's like, all right, we're going in. Let's rock and roll. It was one of those things. I trained myself. I don't know how I did it. So, but you're right too, with guys, you see someone there. So it's like, I also didn't want to go to the bathroom. I got lucky in that sense. But when there's a guy at the urinal, it's like, all right, give the buffer urinal at the very least. Where girls, they'll just load 6 in at a time in a stall. Like, what the fuck is going on? It seems like such a fun time. They come back. I mean, they're probably talking about whatever's going on at the bar or wherever they are. But it just seems like a good time. Maybe we'll flip the script. Maybe we'll take it over. Bob, me, you, we'll get Trent and we'll start going in packs to the bathroom together.
Yeah, maybe we will. So she wakes up in Mexico, and Bruce has made kind of like a little resort for her. Essentially, well, it was for him initially.
Who
But
gave it to him too, Bob? Say it.
it's Tony Stark, our dog. Well, your dog.
R.I.P. my dog, man.
Yeah.
What a guy. And he never like let him just have it. He's like, I might come back and take it. That was just Tony being a nice
Yeah.
guy, though.
And you saw the carving on the bar. He's got the
Oh,
little tiki bar, and they carved BB, Bruce Banner, and TS, Tony Stark. That's nice. She had an Iron Legion helmet that we see later in the episode.
I
The
didn't see
Easter eggs
it.
in this were really good. You didn't see the Iron Legion helmet?
No, I didn't see it.
She walks up on it. It was kind of like just destroyed, but yeah.
Oh man, I just miss the boys. I miss the boys, Bob. I miss the boys that we had that first couple phases. There it was a beautiful thing.
I just saw someone tweet like introducing my son to the MCU for the first time. Like, here we go with Iron Man. He's about to meet Tony Stark, and I was just like, oh my god.
Oh no, oh no, my sweet little child. You have no idea.
And Bruce starts explaining to her where she is, why she is where she is, basically saying you're gonna need like 10 to 15 years to figure out how to come to grips with being the Hulk. I'm really sorry. My blood got into your blood during the accident. This is, a place that Tony made for me when I had to figure things out. And this is where he takes her down to a lab. This is where he figured out how to be Smart Hulk, which is like kind of an interesting fill the gaps thing in the MCU, I thought.
Yep, I like that. He named it Smart Hulk too. It made it feel like very real.
And doesn't he have a line in the episode where he says something like, "Oh, like I didn't come up with that name, like, but it just stuck. Like when a name sticks."
Oh,
like
shit.
That was good. that was pretty good meta joke.
It's like Bill Hader. Everyone's, Rachel Bilson jokingly said he has a big dick. And it's like, Bill Hader's not going to come out and say, no, my friends, it is quite average. And they say it's a good size, not a great size. Just radio silence to let everyone else start, talk about it.
And he sends his cousin Jennifer. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's his cousin. He sends his cousin Jennifer through like a series of tests to figure out what her Hulk is like, if she has the different personality, which I think in the beginning, he just assumes like she has the different personality. Mm-hmm. And then he gets really surprised when she breaks out. He puts the helmet on her and he's like, what can I play to like get your emotions up? She's like, play a Pixar movie when Bing Bong jumps out of the wagon and Inside Out. It's like, oh my God.
Why did you have to bring that up on the pod? Couldn't we have just like fast forwarded past that, just like I fast forward it whenever it's on the movies here with the kids? Like, what are we doing? That was fucked up.
Is that top? It's probably top 5 saddest moments in Disney Pixar.
Top
number
5.
Number 1 is got to be Lion King, right?
Yes,
which
Mufasa.
we spoke about. Yep.
I fast forwarded past that too because I'm a child.
I mean, like,
Bob.
One of the Toy Story movies.
You're saying top 5 Pixar Disney. Bob, top 5 movie moments in terms of sadness. It's a movie because it's maybe it's not live action and you're seeing like some like parent die in the movie on the screen or something like that. But like that shit hits you because then you think about who your Bing Bong was as a kid and how you kind of just like, I'm fucking getting teared up thinking about it right now, Robbie. Oh, I'm gonna go throw up now. Everyone's watching to see if Rob's gonna throw up. No, I'm gonna throw up. Toy Story. The thing is, everyone talks about Toy Story 3. They were gonna be fine. It was a when Andy gets rid of them, I guess is
That's
maybe
sadder. But people talk about the fiery scene like it's the saddest.
People
I disagree though.
If you thought those motherfuckers were going to get melted alive, like, come on, you're just like, all right, how are we going to get out of this?
Have you ever seen the viral video though? Someone edited the DVD to where it just cuts to black and plays "You Got a Friend in Me" there, and they gave it to their mom for Christmas. And they were like, "What?"
I didn't see the Christmas thing. I just saw the video version of it. Oh, that is hilarious! It's fucking some twisted shit.
Yeah,
that's
diabolical.
That's the stuff AJ is going to do to me. He's going to do something like that. But Bing Bong, I would say is number. I'd say it's only behind Mufasa. And I'm thinking of other sad moments in movies.
That's such a good movie, too. Inside Out's a classic.
All-time great. All-time great. That's maybe the last great Pixar movie, now that I'm thinking about it.
Moana after that, right?
But she's Disney. I don't think she's Pixar. Yeah, Bob, right. Don't you worry. Because when I said that, I was like, just double check him out. I'm like, you're not talking about Moana. Moana is the best Disney movie of all time. There's a take for you guys on the She-Hulk podcast you didn't see coming.
I don't hate that take. But the test that he sends her through is kind of like, I want to say like a stereotypical like cartoon Bugs Bunny Roadrunner kind of like just saw blades like spinning towards her.
Where do you get that from? I know Tony Stark is a billionaire that has access to technology. We're like, all right, we're going to build this fucking this circle saw. I wasn't good in home ec either. There was a lot of subjects in school. It was good. This circle saw thing where it's like coming in. It's like, What are you doing with that? There's no reason that's just built. Bruce Banner doesn't need it. He knows how he's the Hulk. It's like, in case we have another Hulk, you never thought in a million years you'd have another Hulk, which she is definitely different because Bruce is on like that Barry Bonds steroids. He's just hulking. He's a monster.
His arm is kind of better, right? Like by now, he mentions that.
She's on kind of more of the A-Rod stuff where it's not as hulking. It's a little more muscular and thinning muscular. Luis Gonzalez, circa 2001, Arizona Diamondbacks. That's your sports reference for the day here on the podcast. Apologies to Bob Fox and all the other Yankees fans for bringing up memories. But that's the kind of She-Hulk I feel. A lean, mean, fighting green machine, right?
Yeah, and she hulks out here. She breaks out of the thing, yells at Bruce, but he realizes in the moment, okay, this is just you. Like, you're smart Hulk, essentially, smart She-Hulk. And she says, okay, great. So, like, I don't have to go through the tests. Look, I know how to do it. I want to go back to being a lawyer. Like, I have no interest in saving the world like you and being a superhero. That's cool, but, like, I didn't choose that life. And he's, like, kind of saying, I didn't choose that life either, but this is the responsibility you take. And
did you catch that in the beginning? She's like, what is the responsibility for people with power? And I go, we've heard this 1,000 times. Usually right as they're about to die. With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Uncle Ben, Aunt May.
Aunt May, the whole fucking family's just dying.
Yeah. That's tough. Our guy, Peter Parker. But this is like the kind of the fight that they have the whole episode is, hey, I want to leave. I want to go back to being a lawyer. That's what I care about. That's how I want to help people. I'm helping people in a different way. And Bruce is like, no, you have to stay here for years, possibly. You have to learn meditation. They have some funny meditation scenes. They have funny scenes throwing boulders, throwing each other off cliffs, being like, oh, that was a dick move. Like, it was a pretty mature show. Hey, you yelled at me for saying Sienna could watch Black Widow. She got some cursing in this.
Yeah, the post-credit scene. We're at the point now where I think Sienna kind of understands it about when things are a little more mature, maybe a little more than a PG-13 rating, and she just doesn't say a word. And I did the same thing back when I was stuck in those scenes with my parents. So there was a few moments during this one, but she loved it. And I said, "Is She-Hulk one of your favorites?" Now she goes, "Oh yeah, like She-Hulk." Real
That's
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was,
and we got a good fight scene with like She-Hulk and Hulk, which I saw people shitting on, and I thought that was weird because I thought it was great.
Bob, I got a show of Obi-Wan Kenobi where there just wasn't any Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? And I'm not trying to like shit on the Star Wars stuff. I always say, people say, Clem says he's not going to say it, and then he does it. Well, guess what? I didn't get a Boba Fett show. I didn't get an Obi-Wan Kenobi show. I got She-Hulk already hulking up and fighting the real Hulk, and they're fucking going head to head
with like claps.
Yes, in episode 1, it's like a training montage, plus there's actual fights, and they're really kicking each other's ass a little bit. That's exactly what I want from my Marvel shows. And this show, as of episode 1, only episode 1, mind you, I'm not going to give them a full pass the rest away. Hashtag trust the Feige. This is the reason why hashtag trust the Feige. The things like Infinity War and Endgame that end up hitting, awesome. But when they actually hit with stuff like this, I'm like, all right, this stuff is in good hands, which by the time, since we started recording, DC has probably moved back 4 more movies, right? It's like, this helps this could be huge for Marvel in terms of their end of year grades. After we gave our midterm, I didn't see them, coming in with like a great book report first fucking, day out of the midterms. So, I like the fight. People had a problem with it. What did they say? It wasn't,
I just saw
it wasn't realistic enough. Two Hulks fighting each other.
I just saw some people tweeting like it was just a lame fight, like they were fighting with claps. I thought that was like kind of a cool thing. I thought it was kind of a funny thing when he does it first, she does, and then she realizes like I can almost like flashbang this guy to death with claps because I'm the Hulk and I'm creating like a sonic boom with my hands. I thought that was fucking cool. Something out of a comic book.
Yeah, she learns it, which I'm sure they'll come back to in the end. It's Chekhov's clap sonic boom. But at the same point, then Bruce is like, oh, yeah, by the way, I know exactly how to do all this shit better than you. I'm still the teacher here. And then he kind of, makes work. And the poor bar, that was the other thing. Seeing that bar, I was like, man, why don't I live at that bar? Why don't I live somewhere like right on the beach, blah, blah, blah. It's because I'm poor is the answer. But it just hurt me. I just wanted to live there and like, or just like hang out there for like a week.
Seeing it get destroyed, that was tough. And the Bruce's voice, like the agony in his voice when he's just like, oh, my bar. He's like, you're going to help me rebuild that.
You know what that is? That's when you're a kid and you build that awesome fort using your pillows. And then your boy Mike comes stumbling in, knocks it over, and little Robbie's crying. And then Mama Fox, Mike, you're gonna help Rob rebuild that fort right there. You're gonna do it. I didn't see a Mama Fox appearance coming, but I guess I should at this point.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on, yeah, she's basically the third host at this point. It's my mom's basement, right?
It's true.
She's always upstairs.
She's more so part of this show than you or I. She's literally in the title.
And what do we get next? Oh, I wanted to mention I liked the little things in this episode, like when he's telling her you're gonna have to reinforce all your furniture now. When she gets into his Jeep and has to like pull the seat forward like a crazy amount because he's giant in it and stuff. Like the little things like that in this episode, I really got a kick out of.
This goes back to the grounding the MCU in reality, where it's like superheroes have to buy superhero size stuff to accommodate them. And Sienna goes, she said this because I think She-Hulk mentions, or Bruce says spandex is your new best friend, right? Mm-hmm. And Sienna had said, she goes, oh yeah, where does the Hulk buy his clothes? I said, probably the same store your dad buys his clothes at. There's for bigger people, there are some stores there. If I need a little bit of help, we can get it. So I thought that was very good. And in the post the credits, the sketchings they had going on, they showed them like getting spandex and stuff like that. So
the credits were really cool. Another
cool.
Good like Marvel credit sequence. You know what I thought was weird though? They didn't have any kind of difference for the intro. Like, I feel like every intro for this phase has done some kind of cool, like the Loki one is cool, the Moon Knight one is all white, and then nothing for this one. I thought they were going to turn it green.
Can I tell you my favorite credits thing? It is I Am Groot, which we did a quick little hitter on. I finished the rest of the episode since then. Just a delightful show.
A little fast forward.
The little, yeah, and I'll tell you, as a father of two, I see one of them sitting on the stairs here. My kids will fast forward whatever they just want, and they just will watch a 20-minute episode in 2 minutes because they'll just skip to whatever they want. Mm-hmm. So that is very kid-centric. Is Groot just fast forwarding through the thing? So I got an absolute kick out of it. Groot, I was going to tweet this out the other day. It's has the perfect amount of like dark humor that makes it feel very in depth, in tune with the Guardians. There's just like, you're like, did Groot just do that to that little thing? I think you remember Groot's kind of a savage in the movies. He's just cute as hell, and he's a hero. But man, there is some things there and the kids laugh, they love it, and I'm laughing, and then I'm just like, man, that was pretty messed up what Groot just did there. So anyone who hasn't seen it yet, I Am Groot. It's your friend. It keeps my kids occupied. The only problem is I wish there was more, or they were just a little bit longer because they're so quick, just so quick. Yeah. And again, a great opening sequence, like Bob said.
They're so good that I actually want Marvel to adapt the like Disney Pixar thing and give us an I Am Groot short before every new Marvel movie.
Ooh, that would be
awesome would that be?
That would be so much fun.
It would just get the people in the mood, like for like, oh, it's a little 3-minute thing, it's not like the craziest long sequence. It would be awesome.
Yeah, I hope they do it. I don't know if they will, but that would be a really good time. I saw someone saying, like, there's probably actual people going to their computers to like break down the Easter eggs in I Am Groot. I'm not doing that with Groot. Like the basement, unless we're going to get 1 billion views on it, we're just going to say a very delightful show. Unless there's like something in the background where you can see, Dr. Doom is coming into it. Wouldn't that be the greatest way to introduce Dr. Doom? Is at the end of a I Am Groot episode.
And I love that it still says like starring Vin Diesel, and you're like, it's crazy that this guy's still making the bag to do that voice. And sounds nothing like him.
And they had Rocket for like a second. Bradley Cooper did the Rocket voice. I'm like, these guys are still getting that Disney check. Unbelievable.
And that was a great one. I think that's the magnum opus. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite one though. Is Groot takes a bath. I thought that was so funny.
That was a great one, and again, very relatable to a lot of stuff the kids do.
Before we get back into She-Hulk, let's shout out another one of our sponsors here, HelloFresh, one of our favorites. You can savor every last second of summer with HelloFresh. They deliver fresh, quality produce from the farm to your door in less than a week, allowing you to enjoy the delicious flavors of the season right from home. This is going to be vital for me in the next week. I couldn't keep anything down last week. Guess what? I got to get healthy food in my stomach. I'm getting some healthy food from HelloFresh. They have fit, wholesome meals. They have family-friendly meals. You can update like your portion size. So if you want meals for the whole family, you can get that. If you want it just for yourself, you can get that too. They have quick and easy recipes, 20-minute meals, low prep, low cleanup options to provide an even faster route to putting food on the table around your packed schedule. I love HelloFresh. Clem loves HelloFresh. We've talked about the cheesy chicken before.
Oh,
That stuff is tremendous. And if you go to HelloFresh.com/Robbie16 and use the code Robbie16, you'll get 16 free meals across 7 boxes. And, like we say every week, 3 free gifts. Are the gifts that little Hulk thing? Are they a pack of Cheetos?
could be a Groot. Could be an actual Groot.
Could be a living Groot. We don't. It could be a carrot. We don't know. We don't know what the gifts are. After the fight, after the Hulk versus She-Hulk fight, Hulk is like, "All right, I can't stop you. If you want to go back to your life, go back to your life." So she does, and that's kind of where we catch up with her, like in the beginning of the episode. And she's like, "All right, you're all caught up. Come to the case with me." She starts doing her final, what do they call it? Final speech in court.
Closing arguments, Bob.
Closing arguments. Objection, overruled.
This is going to be a whole lot of idiots guiding idiots like blindly through all the court proceedings and stuff like that.
Yeah. Did you ever see Ted 2 where he's got to like go to court to prove that he's a real guy? I feel like I'm like Ted learning how to go through a court right now. Final arguments. So she starts giving the final argument, and then someone busts through the wall, and it's clearly a supervillain. When we're in the Marvel universe, you're like, okay, here's possibly the main villain for this show. I don't really know. I'm not aware, but I think she is a famous actress, so probably the main villain for this show. And She-Hulk gets into She-Hulk form. She's like, all right, this is time. Her friend tells her, Nikki, I think is her friend. She's like, you gotta go She-Hulk. She takes her shoes for her, which is funny. She's like, hey, take your fucking shoes off. Gets the shoes, goes She-Hulk, kind of scares everybody, but defeats the bad guy. And, we're kind of off and running on Jennifer Walter's story.
So the actress is Jamila Jamil. Yep. Do not know her. Looking at her stuff here.
I say she's famous because I watched this with my girlfriend, and as soon as she showed up, my girlfriend knew who she was. And I was like, okay,
really?
She's got to be famous, yeah.
Let's see. She's from England, which
I didn't know personally, actually.
Yeah. I'm looking at just even her IMDb here, and it's like known for The Good Place. Never heard of that.
I've heard of that. The Good Place is a famous show.
DC League of Super Pets, which obviously we talked about here, which I said I wanted to take the kids to. Marry Me. So those are the three other things. The big thing here, the big takeaway, shout out to my guy Emergency Awesome, because I watched his little She-Hulk recap. We learned the name of this villain here, and it is Titania, who yes. I do not know, but sounds like that it's a pretty decent, like a big She-Hulk villain there, right?
She's got a very like kind of campy comic booky look.
Yes,
I kind of dig it.
Yes, very campy. She gets kind of washed, which I'm like, maybe she's gonna get a little stronger. As
put together a team. That's a classic supervillain thing.
That's the old supervillain trope right there. Looking for a team here. I could see her potentially meeting up with our girl Elaine Bennis, getting the Thunderbolts into the action. So I do think we're going to be seeing more of that. I also don't think She-Hulk will be fighting people in the courtroom every episode, but I think they wanted to show like, hey, she can Hulk up, beat the shit out of her, and then be like, nope, I'm finishing my final arguments, or whatever Bob called them.
Yeah. And I guess the people have to know that she's She-Hulk for the show. They wanted her to be a public, superhero.
Yes.
And her have to balance that life. And I'm very, very excited for the future of the show. We got a very funny mid-credit scene or post-credit scene because the Disney Plus credits are kind of split in two.
It's like, weird.
It is weird. But they're cut back to Mexico, and it's like them drinking, because there was dialogue earlier in the episode about how when you're a Hulk, you can get all the buzz but no barf, right? They said, alcohol, because the tolerance is better or whatever. And Jennifer is like acting drunk, and she's like, come on, Captain America, that ass, he didn't deserve to die a virgin. And Hulk is finally like, he didn't die a virgin. He lost his virginity in 1943 on the propaganda tour or whatever, on the, for America. Giving us like a canon answer to a ridiculous fan theory of like, is Captain America a virgin because he got frozen in the ice? Which, hey, my guy Cap, like you said in the TikTok, blowing backs out in the 40s, unbelievable.
Cap getting that dick wet. Happy to hear it. Happy to hear my guy Steve Rogers.
I love the look over the shoulder there.
Yeah. At one point, Agent did come down with his iPad. I had to like unlock it. Then I sent him on his way. So I had to make sure I wasn't, because again, watching that scene and they're throwing the word virgin around and they're talking about that ass and this and that. And then what did she say at the end? She's like, Captain America
fuck.
And that That
That
is
that
how you
that
do
gives
it in
time they did that
2022.
in Marvel, right? The like post credit F word. They did it
Yes.
for Samuel L. Jackson, where he's like,
Hmm.
"Mother."
So that is how you do a post-credit scene. That is how you just have fun in the MCU, and that's why I love that so much. I didn't love being like, "Is my daughter going to ask what a virgin is right now?" And
Yeah,
trust me,
you don't need that.
my wife has it from the other side because she's getting her into Backstreet Boy stuff, and there's always some sort of, and even like clean songs like Backstreet's Back. Am I sexual? That's just being thrown out there, and
Yeah.
it's like 7-year-old girl. I don't know if I want to have this conversation because again, I could explain a word. It's then the rabbit hole you dive into when they then ask for every other thing. You're just like,
Yeah.
I'm not ready for
Why?
this.
What's that? Yeah, all the follow-up questions, right? Yeah.
So I got to ask. I'm a Tony guy. I know my guy Tony made had his way with the ladies back in the day. You're the Cap guy. Are we saying it's that leggy young lady that we saw, flashing her things there?
Yeah.
Her gams, as Cap would say back then. Look at the gams on that one.
I think you put a name on it. Yeah, you go with that one.
Because like Peggy, him and Peggy, that didn't happen until later on, obviously in the story. So I was like, did I miss something? It's been a while since I saw Captain America, but that's been a long-term thing. Also, the boozing thing. When they said, "Oh, you can keep drinking," I thought they were gonna say you can't get drunk. I'm like, that sounds like the worst
I
thing
know.
ever. There's no reason for alcohol.
That's
Then.
how I interpreted it at the first when he first said it. I was like, then why are they going to drink? I don't understand that. But you and then I guess you get it. Yeah.
They could probably get their wisdom teeth pulled out like every single day and be fine with it. They don't even have to take amoxicillin.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Oh my God. I still can't believe I have two more wisdom teeth in my head.
I think you're just going to let those grow out, and it will cause carnage in your mouth. I think the thing with wisdom teeth is they hurt just like popping up. That's why they remove them the way when they do. And then I think if they come up, they then cause just things to shift and whatever. I think you're just going to have to live with that, Bob. I don't think we can lose you again for
I might just live with the other two wisdom teeth. Just like you guys are stuck there. Chill out.
How about you remove the rest of your teeth and let the wisdom teeth just take over the mouth? You'll just be chewing on two teeth the rest of your life because you just don't want to have to deal with the last week again.
Yeah. No, I never want to deal with this last week ever again.
When Bob says no to Rough and Rowdy, things are in a bad place.
That was true, and it was such a good Rough and Rowdy too. Shout out to Dave and Dan and Caleb and Large and everyone on the broadcast. It was so good. Alex Bennett, Doug showed a lot of heart in his fight.
Yep.
Our guys represented Barstool well. Alex shocked everyone in that fight.
She might be the real She-Hulk. Like she just came in, and I was like, "Oh fuck, that's not like the meek little girl." I'm a meek little girl. Like I'm sounding like some old man.
Yeah.
But I met her. She came on Podfather when she first joined. Just very nice, quiet girl from the South. He was like, "Oh, what a nice girl." And then she's out there, like she was screaming at her, like, "Fuck
she's
you!"
Talking shit. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god!" So yeah, she hulks up in her own
beat
way.
her ass and looked pretty badass while doing it.
We may have to start testing for gamma radiation now with our rough and rowdy fighters here, because I don't know. I think she might have been on something there.
and I saw before Rough and Rowdy on the Yak, they auctioned off a pair of Barstool Rough and Rowdy gloves that were awesome. Stool and Stars logo all over the boxing gloves on Whatnot. I figured that was a good opportunity to tell everyone about Whatnot. If you haven't heard of it, it's a live stream auction app where you can buy collectibles, comics, cards, anything else. If you're a nerd, you're into collectibles, stuff that's behind me like that, Whatnot is the app for you because it's 24/7 live streams. So if you're up late, 3 a.m, you can't sleep, you're scrolling, boom, they get a live stream for you. They bring businesses and people together through commerce where sellers can host live streams and engaged connoisseurs like yourselves can bid in real time. We had Big T doing the auctioneer voice. He crushed that, knocked it out of the park. And Barstool, like I said, is Whatnot's newest seller. We're going live twice a week on Whatnot, running live shows, selling never before seen auction items and Whatnot exclusives. We sold the High Noon can that Rico threw at Big T, actually. Someone bought that, the dented High Noon can, for like $2,000, I believe, Clem. Crazy.
That's buying John Wilkes Booth's gun. But if it had not connected with Lincoln, because we would have had a murder. That would have been a murder at the thing.
So download the Whatnot app now, follow the Barstool Sports account, and you will be the first to be notified when we go live. It's a great app. Go to Whatnot. Shout out Whatnot for sponsoring the podcast. And go get some cool stuff because they got a bunch of cool stuff on Whatnot.
You can't get more like the pairing between My Mom's Basement and whatnot. It is Nerd City. I've been looking up. Let's see, quick glance at what I've been looking up in terms of stuff that would be like a whatnot thing. Wrestling buddies. Want to get a wrestling buddy for my son. I had Hulk Hogan. I'm pretty sure it got lost in the sauce at some point. It's probably in the attic of my parents' house, covered in mold right now. My buddy, my guy Unruh, he got his kid the Ultimate Warrior, I believe, and Hogan, or maybe it's Macho Man and Hogan. I want that so badly. X-Men figures. Since I talked to your brother a couple episodes ago, all I can think about is these X-Men figures. And then basically anything Die Hard or Street Fighter. That's just
Look over here. Funko Pops I got on my shelf.
Yep.
Get Funko Pops right on whatnot. Bobbleheads, cards, comics.
And then the fact you can get like real Barstool history stuff is cool. I mean, for a stool like myself, I remember when we had the original King Richard's Fair painting. I wanted that thing so goddamn bad. I don't even know where it is. That's such a Barstool thing. I think someone won. They won it in a raffle or something, and then I don't know if the person has it, what happened with it. It's just kind of just lost in the ether. We should put the fucking birdcage up on whatnot.
Do you think we still have that?
Probably not. Probably not, because again, we're fucking Barstool. We're goddamn idiots, which is again why we were supposed to. I was going to do a full week of content leading up to the House of Dragon premiere. I had blogs ready. We were going to have a guest come on, give us kind of a Jose Young's it, and give us a whole background on the House of the Dragon. And then we're going to, put out maybe even a video. I don't even know. And then I was like, well, August 28th, it's going to come out. We'll be all ready to rock. We're going to go live. Me, Robbie, and KFC is going to be first episode. I said, Kevin, come on as much as you want. I want you to be basically the third chair, the first chair of us all, if you want. But his schedule is so crazy. We'll get maybe our big sweet tea, Trent on, fight, all the people at Barstool that love their thrones. I know White Sox Dave's a big fan. Then I was like, man, a lot of people are tweeting like, hey, check out our podcast, check out our review of it. Like they're talking about this a lot for a show that comes out in a week. Turns out your pal Clem was a week off because again, that's just Barstool. So House of the Dragon, if you're listening to this on Sunday, comes out in a few hours. If you listen on Monday, it already came out. Me, Robbie, KFC, going to chop it up, going to go live about 10, 15 minutes after it goes on HBO, just so we can get all our ducks in a row. Go live, talk it up for
after it's over on HBO.
Yes, after it's over. I'm sorry. Yeah. After it's over on HBO, probably. I think like the thing I'm most excited about is just having like the tweets back in our life. Where everyone's watching the same thing. It's like there's no fucking spoilers when it comes to Game of Thrones. There's no rules. That shit goes live as soon as it goes. If people say it, if people are like, Clem, I'm not watching it, unfollow me. I'm going to be like, I won't be coming up with great tweets. I'll be retweeting the really good tweets that I see though along the way. So I'm just so happy to have it back in our life. I just hope it doesn't suck. But the reviews have been glowing. We heard the one a couple of weeks ago where it was already better than Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad. Gonna say that was a little bit of a stretch by whoever said that. I believe it was what was it? Tech Insider, something like that. You knew the
was it Slash Film? Was it
IndieWire? IndieWire,
right?
That's what it was. Yes, IndieWire. But I've been reading a lot of the other ones, and everyone says, we're fucking. It's bad.
I like that main guy, Matt Smith. He was in Doctor Who. I wasn't a huge Doctor Who guy, but like I saw episodes here and there. He's a good actor.
Beautiful. Again,
I think he was also in Morbius.
Oh no, that's Bob. You didn't have to tell me that. But again, I think HBO is going to be emptying the budget, just trying to get buy back our love, and we're going to have 19 dragons along the way, so plenty of crazy shit to talk about. So again, subscribe to the My Mom's Basement on YouTube podcast. Yep. We'll be on both. We'll be going live right at night on Sunday night, and then we'll probably do some recaps, and then along the way. With Game of Stools, we basically, granted it was the last season, so it was at a fever pitch, but we had to do like Thursday shows to be like, all right, let's preview what's coming on next. There was like 7 different, like, all right, we have to talk about the Starbucks Cup today. There was a lot of shit that went on. Hopefully it doesn't get to that level right off the bat.
I hope it gets to the level where we could make little quick hitters on little funny topics here and there and stuff like that. I hope we get a lot of content out of House of the Dragon.
Yeah, and I do
because I've talked about it on the show. I binged Game of Thrones right before the last season, and then I watched the last season live with everybody. So I want to experience like a good Game of Thrones show live with everybody.
Oh, my sweet summer child. When you have to when there is a cliffhanger, you have to wait that full week in between, my friend. It is one of the most frustrating things of all time. But like, I'm happy you get to experience that with us, because there is just, there is a lot of stuff that comes up. And the thing about this show is people who read the book. So like this should translate like really good to TV. George R. R. Martin seems to be all in, which obviously he kind of like bailed out the last 2 seasons when everything kind of hit the skids. So we'll be doing that. And again, we'll be doing She-Hulk. As of now, I'd imagine YouTube.
Probably YouTube. We'll still tweet us too. Let us know
what you
if
think.
maybe we could do 2. We'll see.
What should we have the people in the comments leave a comment on for She-Hulk? Should we have a review for the episode? Should we have what do they want to see this season in She-Hulk? What do you think is the best way to go?
Yeah, cameo you want to see. How about that?
Yes, cameo you want to see someone in the MCU or outside the MCU.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to see just Caleb show up in She-Hulk. I can see Caleb. I do. Yeah, that's my answer. Caleb's my answer. I'm going to comment once we're done with this. Once it gets up,
you go Caleb. I'll go Roan. That's who we want to see.
I love them both. I kind of want Roan to get his ass kicked. Did you see the
maddening? The
maddening? Yeah. Well, Roan's the Loki of Barstool. That's why I
actually texted Roan after that. I said, "Dude, your acting in that was actually legit." I was like, "You could have won an Oscar for that."
I said it should win an Oscar, whether or not it's a comedy or a documentary. I'm not sure because Madden is basically like if you told me that's really how they do Madden every year, I believe you because those people are evil. If you haven't watched it, check it out. It's on the blog. It's on. You can get on social media. It's called The Maddening. I heard about this years ago, and I think like
same.
They made it, and they weren't sure if they could do it because obviously there's corporate partnerships potentially on the line there. And then I think they're just like, fuck it, we're going out. And it's like, yep, we work with some of the most talented people in the world, and I fucking love it. So
yeah.
House of the Dragon, She-Hulk, Bob. I think we're gonna get in the fall what we thought we were gonna get in like the spring and the summer with the Star Wars stuff and all the Marvel stuff cooking at the same time.
Andor looks real good, Clem.
Oh my god, I forgot we have Andor too.
Yeah.
I have that. I have football, which is just craziness. And the Mets are gonna be in the oh my god.
Oh yeah, Mets are pretty good, huh?
Mets are pretty good. They're gonna be in the playoffs. I have to go to stream like every night with Frank because I killed him. I shut him down on Twitter. So Dave's gonna make me like stream every night. So subscribe.
Be busy. Good, please subscribe.
Keep the basement lights on. I want to work.
All right. See you guys tonight.
Tonight. You idiot, Clem.